In class, we learned that a miracle is an everyday occurrence, but according to your judgment, it's an everyday act.
So in your opinion, what is a miracle?
That's a tough question to ask. I think there are many kinds of miracles. I think on a basic level, a miracle is something that we can't explain with our understanding of science. The problem with that is that we get more and more understanding of science, so it's hard for us to say that's a full reason for what a miracle is. In my opinion, what works for me, what is a miracle, is when I feel that something has happened that causes me a great amount of awe. Whether it can be explained by science or not, but if it gives me a feeling of something happening on a divine level that I wouldn't normally expect it, or even actual creation, birth of a child, call that a miracle. It's something you do expect. It's something that can be explained by science, but I'd still say that's a miracle. So I'm not sure if I've answered it. Maybe just something that gives me a lot of awe.
Yeah. And do you think there are hidden miracles, or all miracles are easy to see?
Oh, I think miracles almost by definition are not easy to see.
In class, we learned there are two different types of miracles. One, big miracles that you do notice, and two, small miracles that you don't notice. For example, the splitting of the Red Sea and blinking.
Okay. In your opinion, are there different types of miracles?
Yeah, there are. There's big miracles, small miracles, miracles you notice, miracles you don't notice. There can be health miracles, or everyday miracles, and some have a big impact and some have a small impact.
Thank you. Noah? So, in your opinion, how does the fact that God works in partnership with people connect to the miracle of Hanukkah in Al-Hanisi?
So, I see that God connected them by giving the Jews the miracle of having the oil and also just beating the Romans, because the Romans were such a big army with all the weapons, and the Jews was very small, volunteering, like the Maccabees. So God works in partnership by giving the Jews helpful miracles that are in the right place in the right time.
Thank you. If God works in partnership with people, how does this big idea connect to the miracle of Hanukkah in the Talmud?
Well, the miracle of Hanukkah in the Talmud, Maya, is about how the Hashmonaim found the oil, and then the oil lasted for 8 days. But if the Hashmonaim never even looked for the oil, God couldn't have done the miracle to make it last for 8 days. Right? They needed to work together. If the oil wasn't there to begin with, if they just would have given up and not even looked for the oil, then this beautiful Nes of Hanukkah that we celebrate wouldn't even exist. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a phrase in Modim that's meaningful to you?
Yes, I like this phrase, Mageni she'enu atachu l'dor v'dor.
And why is it meaningful?
I just find it very comforting and reassuring, the idea that God is there for us in every generation to help us and save us and protect us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So, is there a phrase in Al-Hanisim that is meaningful to you? If so, what's the phrase and why is it meaningful?
I love the whole Al-Hanisim. The phrase that I focus the most on is Masarta Giborim Biyad Chalashim. You put the strong into the hands of the weak. And what I love about it is that it's talking about first impressions, right? First impression is the big Greek army was strong and those Jewish fighters were weak. But of course, if you take God into the equation and their fierce determination, they weren't so weak, right? In reality, it wasn't strong into weak. It was strong into the hands of the stronger. But not everyone realized it. Not everyone saw the strength of the Jewish people. It was there all along, though. So I like that phrase because it reminds us that what appears to be weak might actually be really, really powerful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.